which are used to add additional information to any sentence, right? Here you will see icing on the cake. Icing on the cake is an attractive but often unessential addition to something. So this is addition, but it is not useful. Everyone expected him to do well in exam. Getting first rank was just icing on the cake. So there is a lot of work to be done after that, but this is just icing on the cake like that. Or you can say he was happy to have his first book published. All those congratulatory messages and fan mail that came in were the icing on the cake. So additional to that, he also got appreciations, right? Then moving on, kill two birds with one stone. This is mostly denotes that you can achieve multiple things with single action. So cycling to work kills two birds with one stone. I have saved a lot of money on gas and gives benefit of exercise, right? So you are also exercising and saving money on the petrol over and above. So this is basically just to mention you have gone beyond expected. So firefighters always go over and above to ensure the people are safe, or teacher goes over and above for her students. Vice versa is the reverse is also true, or you can say the on contradictory what happens, right? So she does not trust him and vice versa. What does this sentence means is she doesn't trust him and he doesn't trust her. Rather than saying that, you can use this idiom as vice versa, or you can say a man of high birth may be of low worth, right? So and vice versa. So that means like he is born in a privileged family but he has low worth, or similarly a guy born in low worth family has high status like that. Now let's see impact idioms. So those are positive results or changes, right? The first one is fortune favors the brave. Basically it just means like where when you are brave enough you will be getting lucky, right? So in this industry, fortune favors the bold. You cannot expect to be successful as a stuntman without being brave during scenes. Or you can say, I took the risk with these stocks, hoping that fortune will favor the bold, but I ended up losing my entire life savings. Right? Then there is stand a chance, meaning like you have a possibility or a hope of success. Like if funding by government is withdrawn, small minority school in remote areas don't stand a chance, so they will not get a chance if the government funding is withdrawn. Then light at the end of the tunnel. So this is basically, this is it, although currently it is dark, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Whenever you literally take the meaning, you will understand what the idiom is about. And here it says like the difficult situation is coming to an end. Working to make our family's relationship stronger can take effort, but we can certainly see a light at the end of the tunnel if we give them to our loved ones. Okay, the pen is mightier than the sword. Okay, so this means I totally believe that pen is mightier than the sword and will continue to write about my honest opinion even if it is it irks a few, right? So this is almost literal meaning that pen, like whatever you write, has more influence on people than actually forcing them with the sword. Or you can say this newspaper taught works on the behalf belief that the pen is mightier than the sword. Out with the old, in like in with the new. So when something changes from old to new, you can say out with the old, in with the new. So it came back with new outlook. To an optimist, so how to use it as, technology has made a mark on education methods, but with the old, out with the old, in with the new, like that. You can add that sentence in the end. And give something a new lease of life. That means to renew something that is last, that it will last longer. So renovating the old library can give it a new lease of life, so it will be rejuvenated. Then there is breathe new life into, to give new energy to something. So what does that mean is same thing. So to give something a new lease or breathe new life into, you can use either. So renovating an old library can have him breathe new life into it, right? So you can use that. Or a change for the better or worse. So basically it means a change that result is either a better or worse situation. So how to use it as to an opportunity, so To an optimist, every change is a change for better, or this new job should be a change for better, or the situation is now bad that any change is likely to be changed for better, right? Then go back to square one. So this is this clearly means like you have to start again. So start again because something didn't work well. Like you can say, well, so much for trying, I suppose it's back to square one. So whatever I have tried is failed, so it is square one. Similar to this, we have another idiom. You can either use square one, or you can say go go back to the drawing board. How to use it as, unfortunately the plans didn't work out, we will have to go back to the drawing board and start like from the scratch. Start with the clean sheet. This means same as going back to drawing board, like you have another chance to work on it again. And what it means is like he paid for his mistakes and now he can start with a clean sheet. So he has wiped out his all his previous mistakes and he has started with the clean sheet. Or make a fresh start, so he has started, he has made a clean break or make a fresh start, both means the same. So how to use it? Let's put the problem behind us and make a fresh start. Change for worse, for the worse, or change for the good are again same. Like the older generation feel life was simple in the past and now things have changed for the worse. So this is an example where like you can mention the changes are made but it is impacting in the wrong way. So there you can say there has been a change for the worse in the environment as more tourists reach fragile ecosystem like Mr. Everest, right? So now solution idioms to show action. Solution idioms are basically action that it can take some action. Basically you can provide them. So say action speak louder than word. What do you say? Like your action is heavier than whatever you are seeing, your word doesn't count much. So celebrities always speak of importance of charity but never do anything, right? So actions speak louder than word. Or the captain tried, like the captain tired of trying to motivate his player took it upon himself to guide his team to victory. After all, action spoke louder than words, right? Then there is leave no stones unturned is when you say do everything that is possible in order to achieve something, right? So he said he will leave no stone unturned in order to prove his innocence. Or you can say the doctor said he will leave no stone unturned to find a cure for his illness. Balancing act. Balancing act is again an action that is needed, a balance between two different conditions. A working woman in our country has to constantly perform a balancing act between excelling in his career and taking care of his family. Or you can say Jack and Jones are both good employees and valuable to company. If promotion is granted to one, other one should get a salary hike as a balancing act. Then drastic times call for drastic measures. This is also a very popular idiom, which means like in a difficult situation, necessary action has to be taken. And you can use it as after the company has posted losses for third consecutive year, the board decided to replace all of its top management. After all, drastic times call for drastic measures. A stitch in time saves nine. It's better to find a solution of any trouble on time before it becomes worse, right? So to save life, you have to stitch in time. That's what it means. So the timely investigation could be prevented. The major malfunction in computers, someone truly said that a stitch in time saves nine. Or you can just say there is an old saying that a stitch in time saves nine, and I think it's better to compromise earlier instead of prolonging a dispute with our neighbors. Where there is a will, there is a way. So it's clearly it is. What does that mean? It has a literal meaning of if you have a willpower, you can conquer any problem, right? So I believe that we can you can use it as, I believe that we can do this if we can make up our mind, because where there is a will, there is a way, and for any situations. Or you can say, I completed my graduation despite my father losing his job and not being able to pay my fee, because where there is a will, there is a way. Then better later than never. It means better to do something late than never doing it. And it is again a literal idiom. He shows up for the wedding when they were already cutting the cake. It's better late than never, I suppose. Or you can say better late than never. Former star Berger to throw out first pitch at the Indian Games. Or I was thinking that you will not come to my help anymore. Anyways, better late than never. You can compliment someone who is already late that way. So yeah. Next is, it's better to be safe than sorry. This is popular idiom again, literal one. To avoid something that is bad, like you have to avoid it before it happens, something bad, right? So I bought this piece of land only after thorough investigation because it is better to be safe than sorry. Or you can say, I always drive with my seatbelts on, not just because it is a law, but also because it's better to be safe than sorry. Then there is hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So this is optimistic, like being optimistic, but to also be ready for the uh, negative consequences, right? So the tendency these days is to hope for the best but prepare for the worst, else in our days we would never be speaking about failing an exam. Or the man throughout his life hoped for the best but prepared for the worst. It is his legacy now. Strike the iron while it is hot, right? So strike while the iron is hot is idiom, is to take an advantage of a situation which is which can change in future. So students should plan their study. They read when their mind is fresh in the morning, like strike while the iron is hot. So you can use it like that. Or you can say, strike while the iron is hot, you may never have another opportunity to go to US. Take the bull by horns is deal with positively with a difficult situation. So face a difficulty and fight it without avoiding it, right? So example can be like, those who take the bull by horns at difficult times are really brave men, right? Or the government will have to take the bull by horn and tackle the inflation. Do or die. So this is a situation where extremely important, rather you fail or you fight for it. Okay. So when exams are near, it's do and die for the students. Or I am working hard to defeat my competitor, and to win I have to do or die. Then thinking outside the box is also a regular idiom use. What it means is you have to think differently to achieve something. So the team always think outside the box to come up with the unique advertisements for all its clients. Or this particular technology is quite out of the box in nature and should be hit really easy. Now the next one is to get to the bottom. So what it means is to research deep, or to get find out the truth in that situation. So the more you can say, an example you may have seen, it is doubtful if a political interference will allow the investigation to get to the bottom of the case, or I need to get to the bottom of this mystery, or I will not be able to close the book and sleep, like while you are reading something. Second one is hit the nail on the head. Is again, it is hitting when the iron is hot. It is similar to that, and this is accurately described to cause of a problem or a situation. To when you are actually, we always say like we have nailed it, right? So this can be like hit the nail on the head. He hit the nail on the head when he said that most people won't change their way and continue to blame the system for all their ills. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bushes. This is a pretty like this is uncommon one and very important one, where like you can say which is the current situation is better than risking to lose it by trying to get more of something, right? So you may not like your job, but don't quit merely on the hope of finding a better one, right? A bird in hand is worth two in bushes. Or he decided against selling off his small business for the prospect of starting a bigger one. He realized that the bird in hand is worth the two in the bushes. Then similar way for business related, like you don't put all your eggs in one basket. It simply translate into don't depend on your success on a single plan. So you don't just make one plan and think it will be successful. So then example can be why you are putting all your money into one company. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Or you can say it is wise to diversify your investments across different instruments, as you should not put all your eggs in one basket. Next one is take into account. Bear in mind, consider, like to take into calculation of all possible outcomes. Take into account, I hope that they take her age into account when they judge her work. Or I hope my teacher will take into account the fact that I will I was ill for before just before the examination, or you can say the hazard like take the victory of the war was not only because of the good strategy of the king, but the brave soldiers and usage of better weapons should also be taken into account.